Alright, guys, Landman Season 2, Episode 10 review, and we're going to be talking about the not only the finale but the season. But overall, I want to know what you guys' thoughts were about this. Pretty sure a lot of you have already watched it, but going into the finale of Tommy getting fired, he had, of course, talked to Dale, he talked to Nate, he talked to TL, and going into the whole thing of the entire episode, Tommy was making moves in this episode. He was trying to talk to one of the executives that he knew, and that's a risk, and then he pretty much just comes up on the fly of, okay, I'm gonna have to do something, pretty much as they keep saying, wildcatting, because he's got no choice, because he's got a family to provide for, and he's still trying to do everything. And as he tells one, I gotta make sure I got one more in me, and kind of knew what he was talking about due to being a landman. And when he finally goes to the one that he had no choice but to go to a deal with, he makes a deal with him, comes up with a name, and he does get threatened in a certain way, basically because Cammy, again, was not the one that one wanted to mess with, because it was Tommy. And he basically told him, I'm not going to say to her like I'm going to tell you now. Basically, if he screws him, then he's going to go after Tommy hard. And again, Nate resigns because Cammy, everyone knows that this thing is a sinking ship. Everyone knows everyone's either going to do buyouts or try to take over everything. So right now, he goes, gets the deal, gets Nate to do everything. He becomes a treasurer. Dale becomes this. And then he gets Rebecca. And what's even more crazy is, of course, with the whole thing with Cooper and Ariana, they go to the police station after he tells her he doesn't want her working at the pasture no more. They look her over. They get Cooper in there. They try to pin it on him. Ariana calls Rebecca. Rebecca raises hell. I'm going to tell you this right now. I wish I had a lawyer like her. I truly do. I wish I had a lawyer like her, because she gets shit done, and she basically tells them in a nice manner of, okay, you do this, then I'm going to ruin your entire department. Which, again, I think they were just trying to just cover themselves because of this guy being some high exec or whatever, and the whole situation. And it's one of those, at the very end, when Tommy put his foot down and basically said, okay, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to you. And if it would have been someone's daughter, or if it would have been someone's wife, what do you think would happen? And the whole thing, as he said, you wouldn't have had to worry about the hospital with me. He'd been in the morgue. I love that line, because he spoke for every man that would have done the same thing Cooper did. And that's the one damn good thing Cooper did in the entire series right now, is defend Ariana like that. That's the main thing he did. Because I'm not a big fan of Cooper. I'm going to say it, I'm not a big fan of Cooper. And now that Tommy is doing his own company, and what's crazy is I'm going to go into the company first, but the whole thing is he finally got the charges dropped. I would assume so. Tommy goes to talk to Ariana and Cooper, tells him to move on from it, gets them all to go to this oil field area, and basically gives everybody a job. Pretty much Ariana, he gives Cooper president, which again I think is stupid, to be honest with you. I think Tommy should be president and Cooper should be vice president. And he gets his dad on there. The one, Cheyenne, she's doing it, and it looks like her and TL possibly did something, but he says all they did was sleep together. He held her, and that was hilarious in my opinion. But again, maybe something happened, maybe something didn't. I don't know. Then of course he gets Boss and his boys. Then he gets Dale, he gets Nate, he gets Rebecca. So they're creating their own company, and that's, I think, are gonna make everybody happy, because again, Cammy is not a businesswoman. She is a trophy wife. Like I have been saying, she is a trophy wife. She's not gonna be able to handle this company. She's not going to be able to handle this company. It's going to sink. And as Nate told her, let me and Tommy help you before everything goes and it ruins you like it did Monty. Because it will. Because she's going to lose everything. I'm going to say that now. Now, with the way the season ends, obviously, they're going to have everyone together. And Angela knows what's going on. Again, Angela was like, oh, I had a hard day. It's like, bitch, you didn't have a hard day. What'd you do? Your child went off to college. Okay, it's emotional, but you're not dealing with the same crap your husband is. Your husband lost his job. He almost got into a bad car accident. He's getting threatened and all this other kind of crap. So it's like, Don't give me that you had a hard day. And then we saw a whole sequence of Ainsley going through, her cheerleading exercises, and she had to work, saw that one that was her former roommate, and they kind of work it out a little bit after that one sees Ainsley having issues with her ankles and says, hey, do this, and then getting bullied with these high school kids. And it's like, I can understand they were trying to make a little thing of this, of like, oh, hey, let's pander a little bit to this character, and oh, let's show that Ainsley ain't that bad of a person, which again is character development, I understand that, but I'm just not a fan of this other character, because again, I just don't want them to pander to that character, because if you're going to act like an ass, you're going to get the same thing in return, regardless of who you are. And it looks like they're going to be roommates again. So I think the whole thing with showing the exercises, again, that was just eye candy. Again, Ainsley's hot. She's, I'm just going to say it now. So it's like one of those, so I didn't mind it. I know other guys probably didn't mind it. But again, everybody wants to prop up, Ali Lauder in this. Again, I'm going to say this now. She was never really my type. I mean, again, she's a good-looking woman, but it's not something I would go after as a man, whether it's that character or any character she's played. That's just me personally. I think this whole thing with Ariana really gave her a wake-up call of how the world works, because she saw how the police were treating her and Cooper, which was wrong because they didn't do nothing wrong, and now she's getting a little bit of a wake-up call to a certain degree, and she's getting pretty much everything thrown in her lap. I mean, she's gotten this and this and that with very little work experience, and now she's working as a office manager or whatever, which I'm like, seriously? She shouldn't even be an office manager. She doesn't have the experience. You're only giving it to her because she's pretty much your daughter-in-law at this rate. So, I don't know. I'm hoping Ariana can grow more as a character. I think that this experience of how horrible it was, again, really woke her up and realized just how messed up the world can be. Regardless of even what happened with her ex that passed away. So, again, speaking as a man, if I saw that, I would have done the same thing Cooper did, but worse. Because, again, it's like, as anyone said in that, if you have that happen to a female, it's one of those, okay, what do you think is going to happen type deal. But overall, the season did have its ups and downs. I think it was an okay season. I really do think they needed to calm down with Ariana and Cooper drama of her trying to do all this and have him go through the hoops. Same thing with Angela's BS. She really needs to stop and just stop trying to be, that type of one, and stop trying to hang around that one's wife, because that's going to cause issues. Ainsley, she's growing as a character. People keep hating on her, but again, she's growing as a character. The whole thing with Rebecca and old boy that's going to be offshore, we're going to see how that works out. And pretty much at this rate, we're going into season 3. So I know there's a lot of people say, oh, it sucks. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Dude, why does it suck? Explain to me why it sucks. Explain to me. Give me a legitimate reason. I know there's a lot of people that want to see the oil side of it, which I fully get. But at the same time, you got to have these other things going on in the show to make it a show. You got to do that. I mean, that's just the way it works in a show. You can't just say, oh, it sucks. Why does it suck? Explain to me why it sucks. Don't just give me one, two, like barely a sentence. Like I've heard this online so much. It's like, stop trying to say a show sucks. Explain to me why it sucks. Explain. That way you don't look like an idiot, because I've been called that too when I've said stuff about like that for shows. But I give an explanation. So just think about it for a hand. But overall, what have you guys thought about the last episode for season 2, as well as also for the whole season as a whole? Let me know what you think, and I'll see you as always on the next one.